Welcome everyone to JWolf Tech Broadcast. This is actually going to be my second holiday buyer's guide video that I'm going to throw up, and what I've actually been doing is picking a price point, and since it now seems that Cyber Monday now extends basically every week until Christmas, there's a bunch of deals out there. I'm going to jump in and I have a ton of stuff to show you guys on what products that I would personally buy, deals that I would buy if I was needing this type of product. The price range is a little different. We are at $50 to $250. So that's going to give us a little bit of leeway on what we can actually choose. And I do want to mention there's many other components out there we can choose besides these. There will be deals each day on different websites. Check them out and see what you think. But these are products that I would buy. I'll give you a few little hints on what you may want to look out for. With that being said, let's jump in because there's a ton of stuff and I'd like to get through it all. I do want to mention that all these prices are actually coming in the US. I pick them out from different US websites, and if it is from Amazon, it is an Amazon Prime, so it's an actual Amazon product or shipped through their Prime service. First, I want to go with the Sony HDR. This is a CX405-B. This is basically a cheaper full 1080p 60 frames per second camcorder. It's $128, so if you're just looking to get started into doing some videos, doing some YouTube stuff, or you just want it for doing any other type of family videos, this would be great for you for $128. No, it does not have the largest sensor out there, but it is cheap, and it's what I would personally get if I only had $130 to get some videos out there, and I wasn't interested in a webcam and I wanted a more mobile platform. That's what I would choose. And the next thing what we have here is the actual LG. This is a 25U M56. It's a 2560 by 1080. It's not quite two 1080p monitors, but it's similar to that. It's around $140. This is a great monitor starting out if you're wanting to do any type of basically dual monitor setup without the dual monitors. It'd be real great for gaming, any type of photography or video editing. It will be beneficial on if you're looking into something like that. If you're doing anything that's mainly productivity wise, more resolution that you have, the more you're going to be able to fit on there and the more you'll be able to do. So $140, I would pick that up. And now we're going to get into some of the deals that are only for today, but they will continue as the time goes on. This is the ADATA Premier SP550. This is a 480 gigabyte SSD for $110. SSD prices are coming down. I probably could have picked 100 different SSDs out there that could fit this price point, all the way up from 1 terabyte down to 250 gigabytes. Different price points, but this is the one I'd pick. I really like ADATA. They're not the fastest drives out there, but they're really reliable, and that's the cheapest deal I could find right now for $110 for a larger amount of storage. And next is the Corsair RM. This is a 650 watt fully modular 80 plus gold power supply for $60. You do have to do a mail-in rebate, but Corsair is really good at getting their mail-in rebates back to you. So you're looking at $60 for a power supply that's going to be able to power just about any single GPU that you want out there. Any system that you need, this is what you're going to get. And let's actually see what type of warranty we have here. I believe they come with 5-year warranties, but it may be 3 now. 5-year warranties, so you're going to get a nice long 5-year warranty. Another SSD, but this is M.2. Most motherboards nowadays come with an M.2 slot to put your SSD in, especially if you're looking for something smaller, or some laptops actually have slots to be able to put this. Mine has I believe it's an M-SATA, which is around the same price. Actually, it is the same price. So if you do an M-SATA or an M.2, depending on what you're going to do, you can get 500 gigabytes of storage for $150. That's cheap. These are the new Samsung 850 EVOs. They're just really great options, especially if you're looking for a smaller form factor system, or you want to throw in a laptop and still put a hard drive in there. My Lenovo ThinkPad I could do that with if I wanted to. And you get Assassin's Creed free. If you're into that game, that's something to keep in mind. Now we're going to get into, this is actually a personal motherboard that I'm using. It's MSI X99A SLI Plus. It is $200. It's much cheaper at Micro Center if you have a Micro Center near you. But it's a great motherboard. It's all black. It looks great. I would show you my case, but we might not be able to focus if I actually move my webcam here. But this will get you into the X99 2011-V3 socket, which is basically allows you to get up into some more professional processors for $200. We have a cheaper option here, which is the ASRock X99 Extreme 4. This is also another ATX X99 Intel 2011 motherboard dash V. Keep that in mind. But this one's around 140 bucks. This is actually the one I'd probably get. The only negative about it is I'm not a fan of blue. I like more all black motherboards, but if you don't care about that, this is the motherboard I would get if I was running X99. You really don't need any type of fancy board out there if you're not doing anything extreme. And even if you are, the only upgrade boards I would get for motherboards would be a workstation board. I'm not really into the gaming motherboards because I find that a lot of their stuff is just for overclocking purposes, and you can get just as much overclock or maybe a little less on some of the cheaper boards. So that's what I'd go with. I would not spend any large amount of money on a motherboard unless you really like a certain vendor's BIOS or something along that line. Next, we have the AMD, this FX 6300. This is my budget go-to processor if you're wanting to get something cheap, and it is a 6-core AM3 Plus processor. It's an AMD processor. Their cores are a little different than Intel's, not ours, Intel's. So 6 cores is really like maybe 3.5, 4 when it comes to Intel. But for 90 bucks, you're gonna get a really good processor. It is one of the more price to performance ratio processors out there. If you're not wanting to do anything else but mainly gaming, this is what I would go with. You could do some light video editing and things along that line, but for 90 bucks, it's hard to beat that for a processor. Again, if you're close to Micro Center, get it there and bundle it with the motherboard. You can get it much cheaper. Now, if you want to do something besides maybe gaming and you want to actually kind of future-proof things a little bit and get into maybe some video editing or some photo editing, more demanding works, I would go with the Intel Core i5 4690K. Yes, this is the Devil's Canyon, the older processor. There's newer processors out, the 6600K, but it's about $30 more. This is going to run us at 240 bucks. This is really the go-to processor, I would say, if you're wanting to not touch your processor maybe for the next 5-6 years. You'll be able to do that. That's what I would pick. Doesn't go on sale much, so that price point, you may get it a little bit, 10-15 bucks cheaper, but not much. Now we got a liquid cooler. We have Corsair Hydro H100i. This is the GTX version, the Extreme Performance, and it's runs 110 bucks. I've seen it at 99 before, but 110 bucks is a really good price, and I would definitely pick that up if I was looking for something that's going to be a little better than air cooling, and it's going to look a whole lot better in your case than throwing an air cooler on there. Now we actually have, this is over on Slick Deals. I'll go ahead and throw that up here. I'm sure I have this somewhere else. This is a G.Skill Aries series, 16 gigabytes of memory that's really overclocked at 2133, and it's going to run us 60 bucks. Great price. It's one of the cheapest I've seen for 16 gigabytes at that speed, so I'd get that if that's what you're looking for. Next is another power supply. This is the EVGA. This is 850 watt, fully modular, and it's 80 plus gold. And it should have a longer warranty, 10-year warranty over the Corsair one, which had 5 years for 90 bucks. So you're gonna, bam, we get $20 off. So it's actually going to be, forgot about this code here. So it's actually gonna be 80 bucks. So if you're looking for a little bit higher wattage than the 650 watt that we previously got, this is what I would get into. EVGA has really came a long way in their newer power supplies. They're starting to really become one of the go-to top-end power supplies out there, especially their newer ones. Some of their older ones were a little sketchy, but their newer ones are real nice. We already went through that. Sorry, get rid of that. Now we get into GPUs. I went with the Power Color. This is the Turbo Dual 280X, and it's going to run us 170 bucks. This is really, I think, one of the better graphics cards out there for 1440p. And especially 1080p, you'll be able to do anything you want on it. But 1440p, it's great. It's got the 3 gigabytes of memory. It has the different memory, the GDR5 over what we had previously. So that's what I would get. It's a great GPU for 1440p gaming or 1080p. It would be what I would get. And next we have the Zotac, this is the GTX 950. I really like this for 1080p gaming for 150 bucks. If you're just mainly doing 1080p gaming or throwing a system hooking up to your TV, this is what I would choose. Comes with Heroes of Storm for free, which is only a 99-cent value, it looks like, but still, you'll still get that for free. It's a small form factor card, so you can throw it in extremely small case and go with that. These have came down in price a lot. They were about 170, 180, so we're starting to get those down a little bit. And now we have the GTX 960. This is another graphics card I would choose if I was going more towards 1080p and maybe 1440p, and I believe this is going to be 160 bucks. So if you're wanting to spend that extra 10-15 bucks and get this over the 950, I would definitely do that. If you're okay with spending that extra $10 to $20, I would get this over the other two, depending on what is actually running, just because the price point is just so cheap right now for that 960. It's not the best looking card, I don't think, but if you're just looking for performance and don't care about that, that's what I'd pick up. And now we have the Asus Strix. This is the 370, and looks like we have to add to the cart. It is 110 bucks. This is mainly for 1080p gaming. You don't want to max things out. It's not going to be able to max out everything on 1080p, and it actually may have problems running some of the 1080p stuff out there. But for the little over $100 price point, it's a nice looking card. Asus makes some of the nicer looking cards out there, so that's what I would pick. And another graphics card, I think this is my last one. This is actually the 380, which is AMD's new processor out there, their GPU. It has 4 gigabytes of memory. This is the best, I think, bang for your buck 1440p GPU out there. If you do not want to get the older 280X, I would definitely step up and get the 380 if you want to spend a little more. It's $200, which puts us right at our budget point, but this card usually runs in the 250s, so it's probably one of the better deals out there. Now I'm going to get the monitors. I'm going to start really speeding things up here. We have the Asus G226HQL. It's a cheap 1080p monitor. That's it. I believe it is IPS. Yep. And it's 90 bucks. If you're looking for a cheap 20-inch monitor, that's the one I'd get. Now we have the Corsair Obsidian. This is 900D. It's run us at 240 bucks. Well, 236. This is a very large case. It's one of the more higher end, mainly for liquid cooling. You can do air cooling in it, but it's mainly focused on liquid cooling in large form factor systems. But for that price point, you don't see it come down a lot in price because it's not a really high quantity item that they're selling a lot of, so I'd get that. And this deal's only for a little bit right now. This is the Dell Inspiron 14-inch cheap laptop, 120 bucks. It's really junk, but if you're looking for just something to get on the internet and browse around on, you could do some light schoolwork and stuff like that on it. For 120 bucks, even if it breaks, it's cheaper than most tablets out there. So you get like 3 of these for what you get an iPad or most the higher end tablets out there. So I'd pick that up and just roll with it. Nothing there. And now we have the Fractal Design Define R4. This is the best mid-grade case out there, ATX, for under 80 bucks. So pick that up. It's a good looking case. I personally have owned one before. Great case. Another monitor, this is an LG. This is a 24-inch, so we're getting a little bigger. IPS, nothing fancy here. It is 105 bucks. So I'd get that if you're looking for that type of monitor. I actually really like LG's monitor, so that would probably be, if I was looking for a 1080p monitor, I'd probably get that just because the price point. Around 100 bucks, it's cheap. Now we have 3 terabytes of Toshiba memory, and this actually, once you put this in there, I believe this takes it down to 70 bucks. So it's going to be 70 bucks for 3 terabytes of memory. Great hard drive. Can't really go wrong with hard drives, anywhere from Toshiba to Seagate to Western Digital. Just look at reviews, look at the current version of it. And I usually don't recommend bundles, but this is actually for 190 bucks. We're going to get the AMD FX 6300, which is a 6-core processor. We're going to get an ATX motherboard, an actual black motherboard, I actually really like. And then we're going to get 1 DIMMs of 8 gigabytes of DDR3 1600 memory, and we're going to get Rainbow 6 for free for 180 bucks, 190 bucks. That's a great deal. Pick it up. There's no power supply, so you're going to have to build the rest yourself, but you're going to save some money if you actually bundle this together. I usually don't recommend bundles, but... And now we have... I forgot to open this up. Oh, I forgot. There's a better deal. I found this. It is a 32-inch Samsung 1080p 1600 megahertz refresh rate TV for $213. If I needed a cheap 32-inch TV, that would be the one I would get. Samsung makes really nice TVs. My previous TV was a Samsung 46-inch. Great TV. I like their TVs. The Vizio 32-inch right now looks at $248. So this is going to be about $30 cheaper. So that's... I don't recommend getting it. There's cheaper 1080 or not 1080p, 32-inch TVs out there, but they're not 1080p. They're usually 720p. So look at that. I don't recommend getting any 720p display unless it's 24 inches or smaller. If it's larger than that, you really should be able to do 1080p. And now this is just kind of personal preference, but these are the Beyerdynamic DT990 Pro 250 ohm versions. I am using something similar to that. Mine are actually the DT880s, the 250 ohm version, and they're great headphones. They're one of the better headphones out there for that price point. Audio-Technica makes, I believe it's the M50X, which are really, really good headphones. The only negative about these headphones is that you really need an amp to be able to drive them to get the quality audio that you really want out of them. But they still work great. Just hooked into anything. That's what I would pick. I just threw some headphones on there because I thought it'd be a good idea. That's it, guys. I am tired now because I just went through a lot of deals. That's it. I am going to be doing, my next one is going to be from 250 to 500, and it's going to be much longer than this. I plan on having as many items as I can because you can get a ton of stuff, especially once you get to that $500 range. You can get some really nice stuff, especially if you're looking to do any type of heavy computer hardware related items. And you can get some really nice TVs right now for that price point. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and sorry this was lengthy and I got a little fast towards the end, but it took me, we're over 15 minutes now, I think. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.